Willie, man, good to have you. I appreciate you coming on, man. I know you're busy, man, running around. You doing camps and shit this week?
No, we got camps. Our camps start early part of the summer, but my next big thing I got right now, I'm doing a mom's football clinic on May 3rd
shit.
in Atlanta. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. So,
hey, I did the mom's thing in Indy.
Nice to meet you, legend. I played D-line in college, so talking to somebody in the trenches who did it at a high level is an honor. I'm going to start there. Number 2, shout out to you, man. The mom's clinic, I like that. That's dope. That sounds dope.
Smitty, why you don't give me a shout out when I did the mom's clinic?
It's just different. He a brother, legend.
You did one, JB?
Yeah, I did it in Indy all the time. Yeah. I did it. I had to save face, so everybody thinks I hate women in sports. So, I had to do it.
We don't think.
Nah, man, those moms are really important, man. Whether they're single moms or moms in a relationship.
Especially single moms.
Yeah, man. If moms don't know what these boys doing, like half the time these boys don't get stuff done, man. So educating the moms and knowing what they're doing. And my saying is, I think moms can make kings, or they can make serial killers too.
Yeah, and they can make queens now.
No doubt.
Hey, Willie, I was like, man, I brought him in. Are you doing the stuff like you see go viral? This little kitty Pop Warner shit. I know you're not doing it, but they've had the moms and the kids go head up and Oklahoma drill and shit.
No, we ain't doing that. No.
Yeah, I wanted to be honest. I only talked to the moms during the recruiting process, or when their kid got out of line or whatever. I built a relationship with the mother in recruiting. To your point, it's critical. And I don't think these coaches nowadays, now it's just about the bag. So now we just pay you off, and it ain't even no relationship with the mom. And now, that's why, in my opinion, you see more kids leaving. I had the relationship where the mama was like, JB, go up beside his head. Like, and he ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know, man. I think it's changed. The game has changed, honestly. So I'm glad you're actually doing that with the mamas. Makes sense.
Yeah, man. I think, all the kids that I've had, whether the kids we have that go from high school to college to pros, they have very competitive moms. Every last one of them, like every last kid I had successful, their moms are super competitive. Their moms want to understand the drills, the techniques, and the moms be on their ass harder than their dads be sometimes. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes moms can also ruin boys too. So I think I've had situations where kids not want to talk to their mom, and it'd be a single mom or whatever, and the kid mom comes to me for training, but the kid doesn't believe his mom understands his position. Or I've had moms come to me and say, "Hey, once we train my son," I said, "What does he play?" She said, "I think he plays safety. I think." I'm like, "What?" Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So you gotta educate the moms. The moms get more educated about their sons from A to Z. That's what my clinic gonna be about.
Hey, Willie, I used to say, this is something I was saying too, like, I built such a relationship with the mom, and I knew that kid I was recruiting, obviously, and that's why you never saw a kid or their mama come out on social media and talk all that shit about me as you do the casual fan, because the mama, if Netflix would have displayed the fact that the mama made me look like saint when they talk to their own kids, especially in the hood. Come on, man. I wasn't shit. I was like, man, you ain't heard their mama talk to them then. That's what these cats don't get out here in real life. They don't understand how it really works. And they just want to quick to blame you and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. Man, we're in the free agency into your, you played your whole career there other than a year in Baltimore. What is your thoughts right now with all this going on in Cincinnati, your alma mater, basically, with the Trey Hendrickson news today? They're asking for a second and a third round pick, apparently. They've let him hit the market. T. Higgins being tagged the second time. Our boy Pac-Man Jones in the news, talking about he's cheated piss test. What's going on with Cincinnati,
There's a lot going on right now in Cincy, brother.
What's going on in Cincy, man? We got the legend on from Cincinnati Bengals.
Already been paid yet.
Joe Burrow talking about we need to do this and that to get over the hump. One of the best offenses in the league last year. Go ahead.
We're trying to catch the Chiefs, man. I think the Bengals have kind of put themselves in a hole a little bit about waiting to do these contracts, and they obviously operate at a different rate than the rest of the league sometimes. But to Mike Brown's defense, man, you know, over the years, he's paid guys, man. Like maybe in the 80s and the 90s, stuff was kind of crazy back then, but, you know, he paid me 3 times. He paid Carson Palmer $100 million. He paid Ocho. He paid Rudy Johnson. Whitworth got paid until at the end. They thought he was too old at the end, but Mike Brown wanted to pay him. It was Katie Blackburn and the guys that didn't want to pay Whit at the end of his career with the Bengals. But I think right now they put themselves in a hole a little bit, but they should get the T deal and Chase deal done. It's just unfortunate it's gone this way. And so when you start talking about the tag, you know, players, we all hate the tag. We all hate that, but it's something that teams are going to use to their benefit. It's something that we should have got rid of in these freaking negotiations that we have here damn near, but we never do. You know what I mean? We worry about other stuff that we should be worried about. But the Trey Hendricks thing to me kind of shocked me a little bit because, you know, guys can't replace 35 sacks in 2 years. You know, how you gonna? I mean, I don't see a guy coming in the league, you know, replacing 35 sacks in 2 years. So the Trey thing was obviously shocking to me. I thought they would at least ask for a second and a 5th round pick. So you saying it's in the 2nd and a 3rd?
That's what I just saw. It says, it says late 2nd or early 3rd round pick is what the reports are.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so, you know, the fans are in uproar. But I think the T and Chase deal should get done. Like I say, the Trey Henderson deal surprised me because you can't replace 35 sacks in 2 years. I'm sure they're thinking about him getting be an older player, but, you know, he's the guy that you build your defense around. In my opinion, you know, he's one of the few unblockable guys in this league. And so that surprised me a little bit.
Let me ask
That's
you
what I was saying. Go ahead.
Just for education purposes, real quick, you mentioned that players don't like to be like franchise tag. Just to kind of educate like the folks on, you explain like why is that? Why do you think they should have gotten rid of the franchise tag?
Because it's something that was in place. You know, the free agency started, I think, in '93. I think, you know, I think Reggie White was the first person to just take the test free agency, and it's an old ass rule, man, that I think the players should have got rid of. But the owners use it to secure themselves. But players hate it because right now, think about it. T. Higgins was considered the #1 free agency in football, in all of football. So if he hit that market, he's going to get a deal probably bigger than what Jamar Chase or similar to what Jamar Chase is going to get for some team coming in because these teams are desperate. They want guys, and him being the #1 guy, well, that tag stops you from getting that. So now the Bengals are going to operate on a tag where they're going to see him as the second receiver to Jamar Chase. Whereas if he had made it to free agency, he'd be negotiating as a top guy, and teams have been paying him as a #1 receiver. I think now he won't be able to get that right now.
Okay. Now, and not only that too, it's also it's like a 1 year thing, right? Or like more of a short term.
It's a short term average of the top 5 guys at your position. So I think the tag for T. Higgins would be like $26 million. Where in the long run deal, if he had hit free agency, he'd be looking at, you know, something like $35 million a year.
3-4 years.
St. Brown money or Ayuk. Yeah, he'd be in that regard. But here's the thing, though. I think he tremendously benefits from being the other side of Jamar Chase. And I think the Burrow thing, obviously, the top 3 ball spinner in football, in my opinion. I still, at 26 years old, what is he, 27? I think he's going to get a big contract, in my opinion. Do you, as a player that used to try to win games, wanted to win games, we've seen all the Carson Palmer, and I talk to Jordan all the time, his little brother that does QB training, and guys wanted to win. They would do whatever they want. We all know that I don't want them kids to get no dollar less than what they're worth. But at the same time, I want to see a competitive NFL. Do you like, at some side of you, like, I like that T. Higgins is staying because that's the best fit for him. Burrow's the best for both of those guys. He's going to benefit, and the Bengals are going to be better. If he leaves and just goes to Jacksonville, like they're shitty anyway, and then the Bengals now are shitty again. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm selfish. It might be selfish, but I want to get the kids paid. But I also want to see some damn teams compete where it's the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens in that AFC.
I think T kind of see that too. I think T he changed agents, surprisingly changed agents to make sure he wanted to stay here in Cincinnati. I think him and Joe are very tight. Him and Jamar are very tight. They understand what they have right there, man. And And in some cases, man, a lot of times these guys seem freaking unstoppable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fans put it like this: if he leaves right now, the fans burn the stadium down. Like they can't take it anymore. Like the fans are going to be pissed off, bro. So, and surprising to me, I've learned this over the last 7 years. The Bengals do listen to their fan base now. I always thought the Bengals didn't give a damn about listening to their fan bases, but in the last 5 to 7 years, I've learned they're on Twitter listening. You know what I mean? Because I've seen things that fans complain about, and it happens. I'm like, damn, like that's a problem. So the T. Higgins thing is a no-brainer. Duke came out and said, Duke Tobin, the GM, came out and said he's a top priority and get done. So I think it'll get done here.
All right.
Yeah, no doubt. To your point too, Smitty. To Willie's point, I was kind of what I was alluding to the other day. If you really break down all 32 teams and owners and franchises, we could go down and call every single one of them cheap. You can't pay all these guys. And Willie broke down some history on guys who have been paid in the franchise over the past. You could probably do that for every team, Smitty. Like you could probably sit here and be like, damn, they did pay six, 7 guys. You just see winning. And you think they've been paying guys their entire career throughout their whole organizational history. That's not the case. Patriots were cheap as shit before Belichick got there. They didn't pay no damn person. Like, you can go down the line. The NFL, you just can't pay everybody, dog. So I'm glad Willie brought that point.
I didn't see the winning organization like the Eagles, for example. They paying all their players to ball out. And if you ball out for us and help us win, we're going to take care of you. We're not going to play no games and tag you.
Now, Smitty, because they won.
Monte Smith got paid. A.J. Brown got paid before they won. Saquon got paid after they won. Just paid Zach Bond. It's like, if you ball out for us, we're going to pay you. We're not going to sit around and play games with you.
The Eagles do a good job, but even back when I was playing, man, it's been 17 years. The Eagles did a good job of they catch guys in year 3.
Yeah.
You starting to ball out. Even back then, we used to laugh about it. They used to catch guys and would pay guys a good salary now. In year 3, redo his deal, and the guy be freaking all pro the next year.
Yeah, you save, but they're smart. They save money.
Yeah, so
the Bengals would have saved money on Jamar Chase. Jamar just became the Triple Crown winner. Now they got to really pay him. If they would have paid him last year, they would have been in a better situation. But they they're not thinking that. So I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Willie, real quick, I just want to float around the league and get your thoughts on some things because you see this stuff up hand, close, and personal. Like the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, right now he's getting more credit for being an actor in the movie Landman than he is being an owner and a GM. He did a hell of a job, by the way. Where they at? They restructured. Hell yeah, he killed it. They restructured Dak. They restructured CeeDee Lamb. They got to shit or get out the pot this year, right? They got to hit free agency and make a splash. They didn't do anything last year. They got to go get another wideout. They got to get a running back solidified or a running game, whether they draft a guy or whatever. Zach Martin, legendary center, retired. They got that hole to fill. They got to sign Micah or get rid of him. They're talking $40 million a year, from what I understand, is what the offer is or consideration is. Do the Cowboys have a shot? Or are they the 3rd team in the East right now?
Man, like we say this every year, man. They're the team that gets talked about the most, but the last year performed the least. You know what I mean? And I actually went to Dallas and did some consulting back in 2018, and I see why the guys love it there. Like Jerry loved those guys, man, and guys don't want to leave Dallas, but I think right now they're struggling from a talent standpoint. I think from years past they had those dominant O lines. I think right now the O line needs some holes filled a little bit. Like you mentioned, JB, having another receiver opposite of CeeDee Lamb, and even on the defense, like I don't think they get the pass rush they need besides Michael. So free agency is going to be big this year. Draft's going to be big. Obviously the last season they kind of sat silent last year in free agency and hurt them a little bit.
No doubt. To you, if you're a tackle, you're having to defend one of these guys that are out there right now, free agents wise, and you know what Micah is, and you know what Max Crosby is in Vegas. You know what Trey Hendrickson is, who's free right now. You know what a Bosa is, he's getting older, but injury prone, who just got released by the Chargers. Who do you think's the best fit for a guy that like Max Crosby, who just locked down the highest quarterback salary? Who do you think goes along the side of a Max Crosby? I said I could see a Bosa in Vegas just because he could be that strong end who can take on the wrong arm in the run game, a thicker body, and let Max go eat on the pass rush side. Or the same in Dallas with Micah being the quick guy and putting Bosa on the other side. Or do you keep Myles Garrett in Cleveland as that negotiation falls through and you take him to Cleveland? Or do you draft an Abdul Carter in Cleveland? There's a lot of pass rushers available right now. Plus, you got a hell of a pass rushing class in the draft. Who do these top guys, what do they do in this draft here, in your opinion, especially with the free agent market? It is what it is. Or not even the free agent market, allowability of these guys to go shop for a possible trade.
Well, if Myles Garrett leaves Cleveland, I think Cleveland burns down. I mean, now as a Bengals fan, we want to see him out of that division. I mean, dude is an absolute monster, man. The guy that just wreaks havoc. But I don't see Myles leaving Cleveland. I heard this morning the owner say he's not even talking to him. He's not even going to talk about
I know.
You know what I mean? So, pass rushing, man, is probably the third most important position right now. I think you got quarterbacks. Even though I'm a lineman, I say lineman all the time, but putting receivers and pass rushers up there, they both affect the game so much that teams are struggling right now. And as far as with Dallas needs a guy to push guys, because Dallas right now just Myles Garrett, Micah is just getting double all the damn time. He's a double getting slid to, and other guys are not getting pushed. So Dallas bringing a guy in is going to be big, crucial to them. I don't see Myles Garrett leaving. I wish he would, because he destroys our Bengals. But pass rushers are definitely big money guys these days.
Yeah, no doubt.
100%, man. Not for sure. I want to ask you about. So earlier you mentioned that the Bengals are trying to catch up to the Chiefs. I think it's something you said a little earlier today. Obviously, the Chiefs, made to another Super Bowl after having a real interesting season. I mean, they were winning games, but they didn't really look that good. JB and I was always talking about it every single week. Like, man, we got to respect that they're winning, but they just don't really look like they're that good. And then they ended up kind of caught up to them in the Super Bowl, and they got blown out, against the Eagles. Where do you see the Chiefs going just moving forward? Do you think the Chiefs run might be over, or I think Kelsey just announced that he's going to go ahead and come back again, so Travis Kelce should still be there. You think the Chiefs will still be kind of top tier next year?
They have to figure out, and I know JB and I joke about this all the time. You have to figure out why Patrick Mahomes, his passing, the magic that he had early on, where is that gone to? He's clearly not looking like Joe Burrow and these other guys who were passing. In the beginning, Pat Mahomes was a standard. He was a standard guy throwing 45 touchdowns, 50 touchdowns. Yeah. Now he's just dinking and dunking, but they're winning games. I think, we have teams like the Bengals who play in the AFC North. The AFC North is a bloody division. Guys come out of that division. It's hard coming out of the division. Yeah. Sometimes you get two teams out of the division, but I think the Chiefs can still play winning football to win their division, which is the first step of every team.
Yeah.
But I think getting past some of the other teams and their whole thing is to get home field advantage over the years. Yeah. I think Pat's played 2 playoff games on the road his entire career, because they win the division, they win the AFC division, they have home field advantage. So in order to beat them, I think consistently teams like the Ravens and the Bengals and the rest of these teams got to catch up with Buffalo to get home field advantage to make them come to their home in the AFC Championship game. But they also did that 2 years ago with the Ravens and beat the Ravens. Right? You know what I mean? I think Andy Reid should get a lot of credit, bro. He's a smart dude. He understands build culture and build winning culture. I think as long as he and Pat together there, they're going to be still winning, those 10, 11, 12 ball games a year.
Hey, Willie, as the gap been closed, though, tremendously with the hiring of Harbaugh, you see them transcending already in year one, playoff team. Broncos get to the playoffs, 3 out of the 4 teams, and then you hire Pete Carroll and the Raiders. The West may have the best 4 coaches in football of any conference. Plus, has this become one of the most competitive conferences now in football, along with the NFC West, maybe, if Arizona can get off the shitter and Kyler Murray and they figure that out in Seattle, or they won 10 games also. Do you see this being the best conference now going forward?
I'm going to be biased. I'm an AFC North guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I still see these games in the AFC North being some violent, brutal games. We play
black and blue, yeah.
they're really black and blue. But the last game I played in was playing with Baltimore. We played in the AFC Championship game in 2008 against Pittsburgh. It was the most violent football game I've ever been a part of. It was the coldest, most violent. I retired on the bus. I said, you know what? I'm done with this shit. Like, this is it for me right here. You know what I mean?
Really?
So I don't see the AFC North as that violent. I still see it very competitive, and it's competitive because of the quarterbacks. Obviously Pittsburgh, they try to come back this year with Russell. The Browns are struggling with the quarterback, but in the AFC West, you got my boy Bo Nix, who dad I played with at Auburn, Patrick Nix. Obviously Pat Mahomes and Herbert. So I think Mahomes now facing some more quarterbacks in the league, whereas in the past he's going through the AFC West with no challenges. So now I think it's going to cause the Chiefs to keep getting better and better every year.
Let me ask you something. You said you retired on the bus, which is a mic drop for everybody out there. You go your whole career for the Bengals, and then you go play for the arch nemesis Ravens to end your career. Did that have something to bear? Did that bear on it too? Did that have some bearing on it? This is my rival. Did that have anything?
It did in the beginning, because like I say, I played against the Ravens, man, and Ray Lewis, these guys for 12 years, and then walking in their locker room was a huge, and all it came because Hugh Jackson, who coached me in Cincinnati, he was Flacco's, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I came there, man, I was like, man, I'm not signing here, man. Like I hate these dudes, like, you know what I mean? Like them in Pittsburgh, like, we hate them dudes. Like it was war. Yeah. When I met with Ozzie, and Ozzie and I've been knowing each other for a long time. Met with Ozzie, makes sure Rex Ryan. I actually met with Rex Ryan, and Rex was like, "Yo, this kind of tackles we need here. This guy's a real right tackle right here." And Hugh said, "Man, where you going next?" I said, "I'm going down to Tampa because I always wanted to be drafted by the Buccaneers. My rookie year, before the Bengals drafted me, Tony Dungy called me on the phone, and we had just played in the Outback Bowl at Auburn. I was loving Tampa and out there wilding out in Tampa as a 20-year-old kid. So when Coach Dungy called me and said, "You want to be a Buck?" I said, "Yes, sir. Hell yeah." And by the time my pick got there, they traded my pick to the Raiders for Ricky Dudley. Oh. And so the Bengals took me next. You know what I mean? So I wanted to at least go give Tampa a visit, but Hugh convinced me to come to Baltimore, man, and took me in the locker room. And I went downstairs from visiting Ozzie to the locker room, walked in the locker room preparing to fight. Like, I'm about to fight one of these guys. This is going to be crazy. And I walk in there, and everybody screams, "Big Willie!" And I said, "You know what? I'm going to come here. Like, all the guys screaming my name.
They respected you so much. They respected you so much for whipping that ass.
Yeah, man.
They were like, "We got to have you." Like, damn, crazy. That gave me chills.
Suggs, Ray Lewis, Trevor Price, all the guys, man. We just had a good time, bro. And, that was one of the best football years I had in my whole career. When his father ever won 2 playoff games, and was a game away from the big dance. So,
what was it like? Let me ask you this: just stay on the Ravens real quick. What's like your favorite? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but is there like a favorite like Ray Lewis story, whether it's like a pregame speech, just a moment off the field, just anything that just comes to mind, just being in that locker room?
He and I sitting down eating lunch one day. We all sitting down eating, and Ray and I came in together. I was a 10th pick. I think Ray was like 20 pick in the draft, like that. It's great. We sit down. He said, "Big Willie, it's not Cincinnati here." So what you mean? He said, "Here." He said, "In Cincinnati, y'all needed 30 points to win games." He said, "If y'all score 17 points, we're going to win." I said, 17 points? He said, "Bro, if y'all score first," he said, "we score first at home." He said, "I'm going to make sure that crowd goes ape shit." He said, "Just score first." I'm like, "Bro, whatever." Bro, every game we won that year, look at the score. We scored 17 points. Every game we lost, it was 17 less points. And every time he scored at home first, we won every damn game because he literally will get the crowd, bro. I've never seen anybody do that in all of sports. Like, he can affect the crowd. It was so bad. We played the Titans that year, and Jeff Fisher, in warm-ups, we would watch. We facing each other. So, I'm sorry. Doing the intros, the opposing team watch him come out, right? So for years with the Bengals, we watched Ray come out do his dance, And we would get hyped up watching his dance. You know, TJ, them guys, Ocho, them guys, they get hyped up watching. They ain't scared. But we see them every year.
Yeah.
But some teams would watch that stuff and get intimidated. Yeah. Jeff Fisher made the Titans do warm-ups, doing intros.
Oh.
Hey, you know who told me that story? Eddie George told me.
Really?
Eddie and Ray, we went to have cigars one day, and Eddie was telling me that story.
I've never, because he knew guys would sit there and watch him on that board, and you get mesmerized, bro.
Yeah.
The crowd is like being in a freaking gladiator arena. And dude, like he told me, he said, Willie, if we score first, we're gonna win every damn game because I'm gonna make this crowd go bananas. And he did it, bro. I remember particularly the Cleveland game. He knocked the hell out of the tight end for interception. You know, it was just him and Ed Reed, man, was watching like two superheroes work together. And it was so easy being an offensive lineman player on that team.
Yeah.
Because you just ran the football, you know, and took time out and give those guys rest. You're gonna win the football game. You know what I mean?
Every time.
Who was the back in 08? Who was the back? Was it Jamal?
We had three. We had McGahee.
Oh yeah, Willie.
Ray Rice rookie year.
Oh yeah.
Ron McClain.
Ooh. The Ravens have always been like, at least I'm only 31. The Ravens has damn near always been good since I've been old enough to really know football. They've always just physical, good, defense first, run game. That's why, like, you know, I'm from Indianapolis. I'm a Coach fan, but I've always kind of just from afar just liked the Ravens, just the culture. And even hearing you share that story, like I know you feel it in your chest, JB. I feel like I'm back on the field right now, just hearing the story. You know,
no doubt. Hey, Willie, not to hold you up, get you out of here. I appreciate you coming on. Let me ask you. We got a couple questions.
Yep.
Former college player, UTEP, right here in the house. I wanted to ask you a question. Why did you go from 71 to 79 when you left Cincy to Baltimore? Is that a reason? Is that a reason because of a former player?
No, because my man had 71, and for the Ravens, and he was a young kid, and I didn't want to ask for it. I felt like I wanted to have a new start in Baltimore, so I got 79. And it's funny, years ago when Twitter first started, it was this guy who was a numbers guy, and I thought it was some voodoo shit, to be honest with you. But dude said, he told me, the reason you picked 71, 79, it aligned with your numbers. My birthday is 7/11. He was saying 7. The numbers 7s and 11s, 7 and 1s are leadership numbers. And so I picked it really just because my man Jared Gaither had 71. He was a young kid. I was like, you know what? I'm not paying for no damn number. Like, it's my last year. I'm gonna go out with 79, and wasn't really a big conspiracy thing.
Hey, last question I got for you, Willie. The stories have been unbelievable, man. I got to get you back on during for the draft coming up with all this hype on Shador and all these guys. Let me ask you real quick, what's your take on the player empowerment that you and I are witnessing right now? We had Herm Edwards on a show the other day with Shaun Salisbury that I do over on Rumble. And he mentioned the same thing. He's like, we're always for the player, but he goes, back in our day, we had to place that contract out. We weren't going no damn place. Now you see guys demand trades or ask for them, such as DK Metcalf. We've seen it with all these other guys. I want out. Ayuk didn't play last year for a while. He said, let me get out of here. Debo just requested a trade. Where are you at with the player empowerment of this thing? Are you cool with it? Is this what it should be? Or are the owners starting to reel this back in and say, hold up now, because we're seeing it in the NBA, we're seeing it in the NFL again. The owners are starting to try to take back some ownership.
I'm always about player empowerment. You know, man, I understand in Herm days, those guys, guys back in the days, they made this league what it is. And those guys really didn't get benefited from it. You got guys in the 60s and the 70s helped build this league up in the 80s that never got benefited, never got compensated what these guys are getting now. Even, quite frankly, in my days, we got paid 10 times better than what those guys got paid years ago. Right. But I think when guys are asking for these trades, I would say one thing. I posed a question on Twitter yesterday. I said, when is the next CBA agreement up? 2030, right? I say the guys who are going to do contract negotiations right now, they'll probably be out of the league right now. So the next group of guys is going to be the guys who are in colleges and the rookies right now going to be negotiating. My question was, what are you going to ask for? Are you going to ask for less practice time, less off season? Or are you going to start saying, hey, man, we're going to hold out for real to not do this damn franchise tag, because the owners know guys wear down doing negotiations. They know guys get bored, and they know guys don't care about half the stuff that's in the damn negotiation. Guys want to get their money and start back playing. The owners know that, because the owners are going to be here 40 years from now. This team's going to be there 40 years from now when players are dead and gone. So it's all about negotiation. So players right now can ask whatever you want for, but they can't do anything. Like I told some Bengals fans the other day that said, well, the Bengals want to make Joe Burrow mad. I'm like, man, I love Joe Burrow. But if he gets mad, what's going to happen? It's on the contract. He can't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, he can't demand anything. Like, he can go ask for his say, but how the NFL is set up for the NFL to be a great business. The NBA is more a player-controlled league, and the players benefit from it, but I think the fans kind of suffer in the NBA a little bit because, this whole game management stuff, time management stuff. I mean, I love the NBA model, but NFL guys that learn start learning about negotiations, and when those meetings come about, don't fall asleep in the damn meetings. Don't just pass stuff up and sign the damn agreement, and then come out years later and say, "Oh man, I had no idea they were trying to take away this pension or this disability thing or the franchise tag." So it's all about what you get in negotiations and these negotiations, how you negotiate and pay attention to negotiations. But that's 10 years from now, and we're gonna wonder which guys are gonna stand up really and say something. Hey man, make a stand for this whole thing.
Man,
no doubt.
I love it, man. We know you gotta go, man, but we appreciate you, man. My dog is TJ Hushmanzada, by the way. That's my dog. I see him all the time. My dog too. So I'm gonna tell him we spoke to you today. I'm sure he goes.
Willie, would you was with one of my former teammates, man. One of the coldest white boys in the secondary at the time, Kevin Caseyharn, was with you, wasn't he?
Case, man. Case, unbelievable, dog. That's my boy, man. Case.
Hey, he lived with me all through high school.
Really?
He lived with me all through high school, yeah.
Bro, Case came up the street.
I gave him his first piece of black pussy. real talk.
You gave it to him. Like
yeah, I did. Real shit. You can ask Kevin. Call Kevin right now. I guarantee you.
You want the black pussy and hand it to him like it was a piece of meat.
Willie,
what's wrong with him, Willie?
Speaking of the Tampa Bay Bucks, Willie, as you leave, we got somebody that said he sure wishes you would have came and played with his ass. Our main man, Shaun King, wanted to say hello as you leave. Hey.
What's up, dog? How you doing, bro?
What's up, big dog?
How you doing?
Hey, Shaun.
First
he
of all,
wasn't blocked for your ass.
Willie Anderson was great. I'm always going to cap for my O-line. And I had Paul Gruber, who was legit in his own right. I got to tell Cadillac I spoke to you. I live out here in Vegas, and I was just with Cadillac last night.
No doubt.
Hey, Willie, tell me real quick, Willie, as you leave, and I appreciate you. We got to have you on again. How good of a coach was Paul Alexander? I've heard him speak. I've sat down with the man many times. He is a no-nonsense straight shooter when it comes to like talking to you individually as a coach. I tell all the young coaches, you better go talk to fucking Paul Alexander. How different was he as an O-line guy? Because I saw some schemes that he did with you guys that I was like, holy shit. They were whamming the 3 technique on inside zone, on split flow, when you could cut the damn D tackle down, when football was football. Was he an innovative dude up front, or was he getting all that from the OC, or what?
No, that was Paul, man. Like Paul is the teacher. I think
no doubt.
Paul like usually when linemen lead Paul, they lead better understanding football. Like even right now, Paul and I we train guys together, and Paul's biggest asset to me was he would let guys like myself, Andrew Whitworth, he came after me, and he would let us become the teachers. And he understood that your best players, they understand the game. And like so when Whitworth got there, I taught Whitworth. When I left, Whit became like the second coach for Paul. Because once Paul so he understands that, some coaches are like, no, this is my thing, I'm doing this. It's not Paul. He's a teacher, but he also he's a learner as well too. He learned from his players. I don't think enough coaches sometimes are willing to learn from their guys. And Paul did that. And but for his scheme and stuff, man, like he put it together, man. Our run game scheme. Watch the old film.
That motherfucker. That shit was nasty, boy. I tell you, I tell people that shit all the time. Sitting down with him, I'm like, damn. Willie Anderson, man, Hall of Famer. Are you gonna get in the Hall?
Who knows, bro? Who knows, man? Who knows? They cut this year to 3. I found out I came in, I think 6th or 7th place, but they cut it down to 3 this year for some odd reason. So it gets harder and harder, man, because no one knows what goes on in those rooms. My presenter, Hobson, he can't really tell me a whole lot, but this year we thought for sure that I made it this year because they thought the guys in the room were saying they voted, but never know, man, how it goes.
Man, I pray that you get in. It's a travesty that you're not in there. That's just the truth. But Willie, much love, man. I appreciate you. We'll chop it up soon.
Blessings,
have you on again, man.
Pleasure
Be safe
meeting you,
this
brother.
weekend.
Appreciate it, dog.
All right, Willie. Appreciate you. All right, brother.
For sure.